Ain't starting now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Read it out. How you doing, Miss? Yes, ma'am. You're the boss, man.
I'm waiting for Danny. Good evening. Notice to the public, if you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located at the end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions, and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. I'll now call the meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee to order. We'll begin with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by myself. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together this evening to serve our parish and our communities. As the subrecipients of your grace and love, grant us wisdom in our decisions and patience in our discussions, and enough good sense to know when we need a little more of both. Bless our parish president, the council members, the employees, and citizens. Help us to be good stewards of all that has been entrusted to us. Keep our decisions respectful, our discussions fair, and our priorities focused on the people we are here to serve. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner,
Here.
Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you. First order of business is the presentation of the 2025 Audit Comprehensive Annual Financial Report from Bourgeois Bennett LLC. Come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name's Paul Patron with Bourgeois Bennett, 1340 West Tunnel Boulevard, Houma, Louisiana. Want to thank the council for having us here today. I was assisted by Amy Zarang, the audit manager. Just a couple of things. I have a PowerPoint to go over with everyone. So the audit reports have been submitted to the legislative auditor, and everyone on the council should have a copy of the audit report. Also, we reviewed in depth the audit report with the parish president and CFO a few weeks back. And then also last week, we reviewed in depth with a few of the council members. Tonight, what I wanted to do was kind of give a high-level report, kind of share some information on the audit. And through this, I'm going to do it with a PowerPoint. As an introduction, again, my name is Paul Patron, and Amy Zarang assisted me. The timing of the audit was in June of this year. We completed everything in early June, and the report was submitted in mid-June to the legislative auditor. The engagement areas. So we did an audit of the financial statements, and we did also a single audit. So we tested the grants, several of the grants, as part of what we call a single audit. And then we also did an audit, of course, with government auditing standards where we test state law, things like bid law, open meetings law, budgeting, and reporting. The audit opinion. So we have what we call an unmodified opinion, or opinion that the financial statements are fairly stated. And so included in the financial statements is all the component units of the parish. So it's the audit of the parish plus the component units. Those all get combined, and we have our opinion. One of the things that we also tested this year was agreed upon procedures. Every few years, a legislative order requires us to do these 14 areas of agreed upon procedures, things like bank reconciliations, collections, disbursements, credit cards, travel, IT, contracts, payroll. So those are some of the areas that we are testing. The legislative auditor has specific testing areas and sample sizes that are to be requested. So we test those in accordance with the legislative auditor. The single audit. So the single audit this year, we had roughly 79 million of federal funds as compared to 67 million in the prior year. So we tested the major funds, and what we do is we look at compliance areas for each of these funds and these major funds, and we test those programs, making sure that we were in compliance with that grant. So each grant has a different set of compliance areas. So we find out what those compliance areas are from the compliance supplement, and we test those. Glad to say there's no compliance findings.
Sorry to interrupt, but,
Hey, you got a light?
when we said that the single audit, and you were talking about not all of the projects, but then you stated that it's something that the parish has, and it has to have consistency for these particular grants that people receive. And so in your audit, actually, it revealed, you didn't do all of them. Let's say, for instance, we
No.
might have 29 projects.
Right.
And out of those 29 projects, you would actually, took how many? And
We-
actually did a survey on
We sampled, the sample comes out with roughly 4 programs.
4 programs?
So
So it showed that we were consistent. That's the point I wanted to
Correct.
bring out. Okay.
So how it works, it's a calculation because we have several different grants. So it's based on audits or grants that were audited in prior years. It's based on the size of the grants. So our FEMA grant is the largest grant. So that one definitely gets pulled to be tested. So again, we don't test all of them. There's a calculation where we try to get certain amount of coverage that's required, and we try to test the larger grants.
Okay, thank you.
Some information on the assets and liabilities. So our total assets did increase from 330 million to 335 million. The main reason for that increase is some increases in our FEMA receivables and some of our balances due from other governments. Our liabilities did decrease from 153 million to 130 million. So we did pay down some of our amounts that are due to other funds. And then the most of that the funds that had those were the capital projects fund and the special revenue funds. Our total fund balance increased from 134 million to 163 million. Our general fund increased from 45 million to 52 million. But our capital projects fund has the largest increase. It went from 25 million to 50 million. But the reason for that is because we did issue some public improvement bonds this year. So we had 25 million of funding that came in that increased that fund balance. What I'd like to show you now is a chart of your overall governmental fund balance, this pie chart. So you see about 70% of our fund balance is restricted. It's restricted for emergency funding for Ida and Francine, some various capital projects, debt service, and also we have a portion that's assigned for drainage, roads, and bridges. So our unassigned balance is roughly about 2.2%. So that's one of the things, going forward, the hope is that we have growth and that unassigned balance percentage does increase. And then if we look at it from just the general fund, kind of the same story. We have about almost 78% that is restricted, and then we have a portion that's assigned, and we have an unassigned fund balance for general fund of about 7%. Again, the hope is going forward that we can increase this unassigned fund balance. The next area is our revenue and expense highlights. So our revenues did increase from 190.8 million to 194.3 million. Main reason for those increases is some of the property tax increases and other taxes like our sales taxes. Those have increased. Our expenditures overall went from 188 million to 190 million. Within that increase, our economic development expenses increased because we did have some disaster recovery projects. We had some principal debt retirement that increased from about 8 million to about 14 million. And we had some capital outlay amounts because of various projects going on with disaster recovery. And then all of those increases were offset by decreases in public safety because in the prior years we had about 73 million in expenditures related to public safety that decreased due to those. It was hurricane related, and those expenses that repeat in the current year. Next item I want to show you is a trend in some of our revenues. So if you look back, you kind of see the COVID year up at the top, our intergovernmental, our grant type funding. So that's the COVID year up top, comes back down a little bit, and then you see the Ida and Francine in the 23 and 24 years, and then coming back down a little bit in 2025. The utility fund. So what I want to kind of highlight here is some of our revenues and expenses. So revenues did increase from 35 million to 44 million, but the main reason for that increase is because we had about a 24.8% increase in energy costs. So the increase in revenue is offset by our increase in expenses. The next slide will show you some of the trends on the utility fund revenue. So you'll see 2022 is a kind of the Ida year coming in with some of the Ida expenses. And then you'll see down below our revenue has increased in 2025 with just some general increases in utility costs. And then the next slide kind of mirrors the expense side, mirrors the revenue side. You'll see the Ida year in 2022 and then some increases in 2025 as it relates to costs for the utility fund. The next slide kind of highlights some capital projects. So some of the major contracts, major completed projects, the Head Start HVAC project, 0.6 million, Bayou Terrebonne Pump Station, about 11.9 million. And then you'll see some of the other completed projects. And then we do have a few projects in progress, the HVAC system for the government towers, the Air Base Fire Station, and then also the Mental Health Crisis Center, about 1.2 million. So some of our debt service highlights. So our outstanding debt is about 177 million. We did pay down a little over 15 million in debt this year. And then, as I alluded to earlier, we did receive 25 million in public improvement bonds this year. So that was that increase in our capital projects funding. And then I know everybody likes to see our property tax trends and our sales tax trends. So I'm going to show you those. If you look, the general increases each year in our property tax, and you see in 2025 with increased assessments, our property tax revenue has increased. And then on the next slide, our sales tax, you'll see the Ida effect in 2023 coming back down, Ida effect in 2022 coming back down in 23 and 24. And then you'll see some increases in 2025 in our sales tax revenue as economic activity has started to increase. With that, I'll kind of open up with any questions you may have, and I want to thank everybody again for having us here today.
We have any questions for Mr. Pichon? Mr. Babin?
Yeah, you just said that the sales tax revenue was up in that particular year because of activity. And I believe that to be, is it also attributed to the high cost of goods?
Yes, yes. That also is a major factor.
Right,
Yes.
thank you.
Mr. Harding.
How we doing?
Doing okay.
Okay. This is August 10th. We have this, and basically the front of it looks the same. But I'm gonna go to the one that we were supposed to receive. Well, we received it August 4th. Prior to the start of this meeting, I gave you some pages that I had concern about because I was one of the few council people that met with you. And for those that did not meet, you know what I mean, I just want to address a few things that we had discussed. So not only they can be informed, but it also would be a matter of record publicly of where we're going forward.
Sure.
Okay. And the first thing I would like to say is, like I said, you may want to, if you guys have that August 4th, like this, I'm gonna show you if you don't have it. I think he has one. And we're gonna go to page, let's try 17. And page 17, it's in 17 and 18 deals with the utilities.
Just for the record, the PowerPoint that Mr. Harding is alluding to is one that we went over with some of the council members last week, where we kind of went in depth with the audit report.
Right. So we're looking at total assets amount to 80.2 million in the current year and 83.4 million in the prior year, and this is a decrease attributed to the following. Cash and cash equivalent decreased from 6.9 million in the prior year to 0.5 million in the current year due to an increase of cash to pay increase energy costs and purchases. Receivables received from 3.9 million in the prior year to 5.9 in the current year due to trimming the meter reading and billing increase to of the accrued for the unbilled utility sales. It says also on page 17, it said total liabilities amount to 45.1 million in the current year and 44.6 million in the prior year. Page 18, still dealing with the state revenue expenditures and changes to the fund net position highlighted in the utilities fund. Net position decreased 3.9 in the current year and compared to the 8.6 million in the prior year, and a decrease attributed to the following. Operating expenses increased from 41.3 million in the prior year to 46 million in the current year as a result of the increase of energy purchase from 25.9 million in the prior year to 32.3 million in the current year. The other one is transfer to other funds increased, transferred to other funds increased from $4 million in the prior year to 4.3 million in the current year. Transfer 4 million in the general fund to assist in funding public safety expenditures. Question came up then is the fact that we were taking how much, $4 million, and put it into the general fund?
General fund, correct.
For what purpose?
For police and fire,
Police and fire?
correct.
Ms. Malden?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Mr. Harding, the transfer is allowable through our charter. It's part of our payment in lieu of taxes for City of Houma. So traditionally, it has gone to fire and police, but what we do is we put it into general fund and we use it for any City of Houma expenses. So that could be city court, that could be the courthouse, it could be the DA's office, it could be police and fire. It is restricted to that city limits.
Right, and I must admit, you kind of know where I'm going here because we're dealing with the general fund, and where we're doing good, and like Mr. Babin said, we're collecting more revenue, but cost is going up.
Correct.
So we want to make sure what position we're in because we have to provide services, and some of these things are actually costing money, such as utilities, and now we're dealing with sewage. And on page 19 it says, Total assets amount to 105.1 million in the current year and 107 million in the prior year. A decrease attributed to the following. Due to other funds decreased from 7 million in the prior year to 0.7 million in the current year. Net capital assets increased from 93.4 million in the prior year to 97.3 million in the current year due to additional projects related to infrastructure improvement and sewer system. Down in next it says the total liabilities amounted to 85.6 million in the current year and 90.1 million in the prior year, decrease contributing to the following. Due to other fund decrease from 3.5 million in the prior year to 0.2 million in the current year. The next page that I actually have here, we want to look at because it's for the sake of time, page 21. Page 21 is dealing with the sanitation maintenance fund. And it says here, it says total assets amount 34.3 million in the current year and 37.4 million in the prior year, a decrease attributed to the following. Cash and cash equivalent decreased 1.9 million in the prior year to 0 in the current year due to changes within the investment and amount due to other funds. A little further down the page, it says due to other governmental units decreased from 10.2 million in the prior year to 8.7 million in the current year due to changes in trimming of collection by the sheriff's office and subsequent disbursement to the outside agencies. The liabilities amounted to 7 million in the current year and 5.7 in the prior year of increases. I don't know, whenever you want to chime in, if you want to chime in, Miss Marlin. I've got a couple more pages, and that'll be it, just to read them. That's all. I think finally, page 24, the same report that we had. It says statement of review, expenses and changes in fund net position highlighted Civic Center Fund. Net position increased from 11.7 million in the prior year to 14.1 million in the current year due to a normal operation of the Civic Center and transfer from the general fund and grant fund for continued improvement to the facility. See below for breakdown of transfers. Transfer from general fund to current year was $3 million from the continued operation of the Civic Center along with the repairs related to Hurricane Ida. Transfer from the grant fund in the current year was 0.9 million for the purchase of new bleachers using American Rescue Plan funds. So those were the things that, that we discussed, and we wanted to actually, perhaps going forward, not to say nothing negative, it's just the fact that oftentimes we talk about the good. So I'm not pessimistic or anything like that, but I just want to address the issue because I found that we were actually dealing with our general fund. And whenever we're looking at utilities, sewage, such as the Civic Center, and we're dealing with millions, and there are other factors and services that we're going forward. We want to address that as we go toward the end of the year and we get into our budgetary process.
Right.
So, thank you, sir.
Mr. Harding, I would like to address a few of those comments. So in our audit report that we are presenting tonight, when we are referring to the general fund, because of accounting standards, we are required to report our general fund, our emergency fund, the marshals, the parish jail, and there's a couple other ones that all get lumped into that general fund. When we do our budget, we break them all out separate so that way we can see them. So a lot of these transfers out from general fund to the Civic Center and to the utilities is part of Hurricane Ida repairs that are being recorded in the emergency fund. So it's being put for accounting purposes in the appropriate accounting bucket, for lack of a better term there. So the Civic Center, where I think it was $3 million that we transferred, there was about $600,000 that was actual general fund money that was transferred for operating costs for the Civic Center. The remainder of that general fund transfer is because of the Hurricane Ida repairs. I also want to make note, and I'm sure Paul will say this in a minute, but it has always been practice that they will meet with the council chair, vice chair, budget chair and budget vice chair before they present to the full council and go into detail. And that's what Mr. Harding is referring to. And they will, of course, offer to meet with any of you separately after this presentation if there is meeting. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear, that it wasn't, that's how the practice has been, and it will be available for everybody. There is the transfer from sanitation to sewage. Part of the millage that we collect for sanitation allows for liquid waste, and that is 1 mil of that property tax that gets transferred to the sewage for that liquid waste. So that explains some of those transfers.
And something else I did find out, because we were looking at that, and conversation came up, say for instance, like sanitation. If we have money that's there, that's the only thing it's gonna be used for. So it's no such thing as we can actually take that money and use it somewhere else. So I was looking at money that was
Correct.
available, but we could not use it
It's not
somewhere else.
available.
So, you know what I mean, if someone else goes there and we see some of the same things that I saw, you know what I mean, then we find out that we can only use sanitation with sanitation, we can use sewage with sewage, and we have a recreational tax also.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure that will come under the same guidelines. So that's my section of what I got to report to the rest of the people. And I'm done with this. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you. And this is more statements, I think, than questions, but on the sales tax, 5-year sales tax trends, 22 being an actual anomaly with the hurricane sales tax revenues. But going back to 21, according to the chart, it looks like we're using just rough numbers, 45 million in sales tax revenues, which looks like it's probably, if you look at the graph, a little over 45 million. And then till 25, we had just above 49 million. So if you look at the graph, we're probably just a little less than $1 million off of sales tax revenues from the anomaly year of 22 till 25.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's, and then you probably just a little less than 4 million net from 21 to 25, if you look at the chart. So that's just my statement on that one. And then on the property tax revenue from 21 to 20, that's just been pretty much a steady climb from 21 at 42 million to 54 million. So we had $12 million increase in property taxes.
Correct.
So we've had a substantial amount of net income above, through the years.
Correct.
in net revenue. So that's just a statement I want to make on that. And then on the capital projects highlights, and this would probably be a question for administration more than you. By Terrebonne Pump Station showed as a completed project at 11.9 million. My question is Bayou Canyon, are y'all referring to the Rouse's pumps?
Yes,
Or
sir.
that's not a completed project?
Those 2 pumps. So for purposes of completing the project and start capitalizing and depreciating the project, it is complete. It's just one certain phase of that. I know we have other pumps we're doing and the burn project and all of that, but for accounting purposes, those 2 pumps that were built were complete.
Okay, so how are we gonna realize if we try to get any funding, if we call in a completed project, how are we gonna get funding?
Because
on
it shows a
completed project?
bigger project whenever we start getting the funding. It'll show that we've already done one phase and it's been completed, but to continue it, we need some additional funding.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Did you have another question? Okay, Mr. Harding.
You just answered the end of Mr. Trusclair's. So at the 11.9, and we have to reapply for more money? Is that, or?
It depends on where the applications have already been submitted to and what has been submitted. So even though I'm completing this 11.9, it will not affect future funding.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Pledger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just kind of two-part one for our auditors and also for administration. On the major projects in progress, I see we have Air Base Fire Station, 1.5 million. is that completed or where we're at with that? Because I see,
Air Base Fire
Still in
Station
there.
has been completed probably within the last couple of weeks.
oh, okay. 'Cause
So this
fire
is,
trucks in there.
you gotta remember, this is from December 31st, 2025, these
Right.
numbers. So this is, 7 months old. So yes, sir.
All right, good there. And I just would like to thank Bourgeois and Bennett for your time on the other
Thank you.
day, going in depth in where our, where we're at and all the questions that we had. However, as I mentioned to you guys in that meeting, I'll be following up
Sure.
with the administration on a lot of that. I understand we're, general fund and all that, we're a bit healthy, which is a great thing, but we got a few other areas that we might want to take a little a closer look at, but I'll be getting with you guys on that though, Candace. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, and anybody else? Well, just a quick comment from me. The bottom line for me is your opening statement. It's an unmodified opinion, and you found no material discrepancies
Correct.
that you needed to. So we got a good, clean financial report. And as of December 31st, 2025, it met all the GASB, General Accepted Accounting Principle standards.
Correct.
So we're good. That's
Correct.
yeah, great.
I will offer this, there's a lot of information in that audit report, so as you go through it, if any questions do come up, please feel free to reach out to us and we can kind of go over it with you.
Ms. Rang, you want to add anything?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to thank y'all for y'all time and actually thank Candace and all of her staff for our help. Like we said, we're here from March to June, and their organization and their help is what helps us move our project along. So, yeah, just overall, thanks for all your time.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, order of business. Item 2 is a resolution approve the purchase of one truck for housing and human services from Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Moved by Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Babin. Mr. Pledger.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Candace, if you can, and I think you've done this in the past, and it's my failure to not remember, I guess, the criteria in order to obtain a quote. This is a state bid, right? Okay. Now it's through Jefferson Parish's Sheriff's Office for purpose of purchasing the truck. How exactly does that work with the state bid requirement?
So this is one that the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office received a quote for through Lamarck. We are able to piggyback on other entities, governmental entities throughout the state on their purchases. If they have something that we need to do, we can piggyback on their bid requirements or their bid process.
Okay. Is it something that we reach out to them to see if they've bought a vehicle such as the one we're needing, or?
Yes, sir. So usually it'll kind of show up how, the bids that went out, will know what's going out from other state or local governmental entities, and we'll follow up with that. And then we'll reach out to them and we'll ask, hey, what was your process? And we'll make sure that their process meets all of ours as well before we sign any TEA in order to purchase this.
Okay, can we go out on our own and make this purchase versus doing
We
it with?
can. I'm trying to look at the detail for this one, and I don't know if Kelly may know a little bit more since it is for Housing and Human Services. This might be one that Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office purchased that they don't need anymore, and that's where we're doing this actual purchase through.
Okay, because I see there are some notes in the back up here. It was a 6-week build at Lamarck. Terrebonne didn't have any, I guess it was, on the lot or coming in. But as with most of us up here, we have specialties and, areas of expertise. And This vehicle here, I'm assuming it's the one that's gonna be pulling the trailer and the rehabilitation trailer or whatever it is? No, you're good. You're good. Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna have some towing that's gonna be done on a daily basis. And just for listen, you know, if I can help, please let me know because we can buy the same truck here in Terrebonne Parish today, tonight for, $5, 6, $7,000 less. And not only that, you can get one that's, you know, a diesel engine versus a gas. So you'll save. You'll get a 4x4 versus a 4x2. So if we can, I would just like for us to do a little bit more diligence when it comes to purchasing vehicles like this because figure if we buy 10 at $5,000, $6,000 more, that 11th truck could have been free, basically, or another additional truck. So just my comments on that. Just let's have a little bit more diligence if we can on, when we're purchasing the vehicles, because I'm sure if I call any dealership here, they're in the business of selling vehicles, and I know they'll sell us one. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Candace, on these bids, when it goes out, it goes out locally. Anybody locally can bid on them, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then once the bid comes in, anybody locally can match that bid if they want to sell that vehicle.
They can match it if it's a state contract.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, they have an opportunity, is what I'm saying, to bid on this. And also, once the bid comes in, then they have the opportunity to say, well, we want to pay, we'll give it to you for that price.
So if it's a competitive bid, they can't necessarily come back and match that because they would have had to put that in as their bid.
Okay.
It's if it's a state contract, when we are trying to purchase a vehicle and we're going with the state contract amount, we try to reach out to the local dealerships and ask, do you have something comparable and can you match that state contract amount?
Because, I mean, we always reach out to the locals when it's available.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
we? Thank you.
Mr. Pledger.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Chair. And Clyde, I'm going to use a bit of your prayer and us being good stewards. But Mr. Babin, I would have to suggest that if in that, I would say that if we called one of the dealerships here, if they have a truck, I'm sure they would sell it to us. The question is, are we following up? Because I work at a dealership all the time. So if somebody calls about a vehicle, we do not, we would not sell them a vehicle. And in this specific case, you can get a more equipped vehicle, better vehicle for less money. That's the only point that I was making. And I'd like for us to, if we're saying we're calling, let's really call them and make sure of that. That's all I was suggesting, Mr. Babin. Thank you.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, your suggestion is well taken. We have a purchasing department that goes through all of this on a daily basis on everything that we purchase. And I think they've been doing a pretty good job for the last 40 or 50 years on it. So we have a lot of experience there. I understand your area of expertise because you're a car salesman and you know more about maybe this than most. But I think our purchasing department does a pretty good job and the specs are there. So thank you.
Mr. Harding.
Ms. Candace, you may mention that it's possible that, we could have actually purchased this on our own if we had the money available to us. But then just in this in particular instance, we had to go through a state bid and we happened to go through Lamar. I think both of my colleagues are well noted. But what I'm saying is I agree to the point of the support of it. More of a hard-working vehicle, long-lasting than gas, because I've been in transportation also. But, man, the cost of diesel at this time and the economy, we just can't gauge on that. But that's the thing that I'm looking at. But the last thing that I want to look at, there's more money available because it's only $62,000. There's 150 actually I saw in the backup. What would the other money be used for?
I don't know that I know that answer right offhand, Mr. Harding. I'll have to do a little bit of research for you for that.
She's right there.
Kelly may have some answers if she wants to. I just also want to say, so it is $62,000, so we have to make sure we are following the procurement requirements and, have to get quotes and, bids if it goes above that amount. So that is the practice that we have. And we make sure that we follow all of the state law requirements before we go out and do and accept anything. But I'll let Kelly speak on the vehicles, the remaining budget.
Kelly Varnado, Housing and Human Services Director. So we did budget for 2 trucks. So we have another truck that has about 150,000 miles that's always in the shop. But this particular truck was ready to go out, I guess, to be approved before the other truck. And I just want to say that we let fleet maintenance and purchasing know what we're in the market for, and they go through the process for us to purchase the vehicles.
So we can almost get 2 more vehicles with the money left over.
Well, we only need 2, so
Yeah,
the
okay.
rest of the money can go back in our grant budget.
Back into the grant budget. So we're
Yes.
not, it's not one of those things that we were talking about earlier, we'll go back in the general fund, we can
No,
use it
sir.
any way we want. Okay, it has to be specifically to you.
Yeah, we are using our grant funds to purchase the vehicles.
Mr. Trosclair.
Yes, thank you. Candace, on vehicles, and I'm just asking a question. For a vehicle purchase, are we required to use state bids or could we just go to open competitive bids?
We're not required to do state contract. What we have found in the past is it's very hard to get people to quote on vehicles, especially if we're just looking for one particular type with certain specs. So it's easier for us to be able to purchase it on state contract. But that's why we have, reached out to local dealerships if they're not part of the state contract and ask if they would be willing to participate. So we don't have to follow state contract. That's just what we have been a lot more successful with getting the vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Chauvin.
This will probably be for Kelly. So they mentioned the gas and the diesel part of it. Is there a reason why we went with one versus the other? I mean, on that part of it?
I honestly do not know.
Okay. All right. And the 4x4 versus, I mean, if you are pulling trailers, I know enough about that, pulling stuff with the shrimp trucks and stuff. I was just kind of wondering like why we did go with gas, especially, pulling and the 4x4. Just having those 2 things mentioned kind of.
I
Mindset.
really don't think that we specified either or when, we put in the request for the vehicle.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Mr. Pledger.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Chair, and I didn't expect Kelly and those guys to know. They just, for their folks, they just tell them, go get us, we need another vehicle, what have you. But Candace, can I ask this question? On the next truck we buy, right, can I negotiate that deal?
I would let legal be the one to answer that question if you
Well,
can
and I wasn't
negotiate
saying
any
that
of
in the sense of, not at a dealership that I work at. Put it like, let me clear that up. Thank you. Yeah, not at a dealership that I work at. I would negotiate that deal, and I guarantee you, we'll just talk to them on the phone with fleet maintenance and let them, they won't know who I am. And I guarantee you, we'll get a better deal, but.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. The resolution passes, 8-0. Item 3. It's a resolution to award the request for qualifications for engineering services for public parks improvements to Duplantis Design Group and authorize the parish president or his designee to execute the contract and to provide for related matters. Moved by Mr. Babbitt. I'm gonna give it to Ms. Chauvin. Second by Ms. Chauvin. Ms. Chauvin? You have a light?
Okay, yeah, this question is for Noah, but this is the one that we spoke about. Okay, and you said Kelly's gonna be able to answer most of these questions, so I'm gonna give her a little time to come up. Okay, so I probably bug Noah on a weekly basis about the parks on the east side.
Okay.
And one of them is Rio Vista, and so I'm kind of wondering where the parks, and then we took over a lot of parks and what we're gonna do in some of them, but so I've heard some really sad information about Rio Vista. So can you explain why we can't use the monies from the CBDG DR to fix that park in Rio Vista and the census and how it all plays into that? And this is really just for public knowledge because I know I'm going to be getting the phone calls. They're going to be some kind of hot.
Yep, I'd be happy to. So for this type of project, HUD requires us to use census data to determine if an area is eligible. So 51% of the households in this area would have to be low income to qualify for CDBG. And the census tract that this park is in is 37.79%. But HUD also lets us look at surrounding census tracts because the park would probably service more than just that census tract. And there's a formula that you have to use. And we also tried to make this park eligible by using the formula, and it was still not 51%.
Okay. So Noah, our next course is to wait on the school board and have some meetings with them to see what they're gonna do to help along the way with this one because it's supposed to be their part possibly.
Thank you. Yeah, so the next plan of action for this is to work with the school board. It is their property. There's a long-standing agreement for Terrebonne Parish to maintain this. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find any documentation on it, but we've cut the grass in the past. We've picked up trash. We kind of take care of it. So I had a meeting with the school board to determine what they want to do with this property, and they're kind of mulling that over, and we'll figure out how to move forward.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate all the information.
You're welcome.
Mr. Harding?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Leroy. I think, it might behoove Terrebonne Parish consolidated government, or the administration to actually look into all the contracts that are associated with the school board in reference to parks and gyms and stuff that's like that. Yeah,
And I was kind of shocked to not find anything.
yeah. Yeah, John, so John, you know where I'm at with that, okay, all right. Nothing with you.
Just making sure.
Okay, seeing no further lights, members, vote your machine. Motion passes 9 yeas. Item 4 is a resolution approving change order number 1 to 14 additional vessels to list for removal and disposal of derelict vessels from Terrebonne Parish waterways. Moved by Mr. Babin, seconded by, you want it, Mr. Amity? Huh? Oh, you got, I didn't hear you. I speak up. I'm an old deaf man. I got a motion and a second by Mr. Babin and Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 9 yeas. Item 5, resolution to approve the state contract purchase for one track loader for the roads division from Duhan Machinery via state contract number 4400033931. Moved by, who did that? Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Babin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machine. Motion passes 7 yeas. Item 6, consider the introduction of an ordinance to declare as surplus 21 adjudicated properties in which the parish has 100% and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, August 26, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved by Ms. Chauvin, seconded by Mr. Harding. That's the way I like it, fellas. loud and clear. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 7, consider the introduction of an ordinance to declare surplus adjudicated property in which the parish has a percentage. St. Louis Canal Road, 72% and 4%, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, August 26th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Moved, Ms. Chauvin, seconded, Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Consider the introduction of an ordinance to declare as surplus 9 adjudicated properties in which the parish has a percentage: 502 Oak Street, 10 and 90, 291 Peachtree Street, 74 and 26, 628 Myra Street, 35%, Bayou Little Caillou, 16.5%, Bayou Grand Caillou, 2.11%, 53%, and 0.0035%. Right Descending Bank of Bayou Grand Caillou, 99.93%, 209 Kennedy Drive, 98.01%, 1809 Kenneth Street, 25%, 6238 West Park Avenue, 99%, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, August 26th at 6:30 PM. Moved, Ms. Chauvin. Second, Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 9, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: coastal restoration, $10,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, August 26th at 6:30 PM. Moved, Mr. Babin. Second, Mr. Amity. Ms. Chauvin.
Okay. Can you kind of expound on what the coastal restoration part of it is? I seen hold up. It's a coastal impact certificate fees.
Yes, Ms. Chauvin, this is part of our coastal restoration department. So Mark Black and that department, what is happening, which is really good news, is we are collecting about $10,000 more than what we had projected for this year. So we're just adding the revenues so that way their budget continues to be balanced and hopefully be able to reduce our general fund transfer to coastal restoration and keep it in general fund.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I like those.
All right. All right, seeing no further lights, members vote your machines. Motion passes, 9 yeas. Item 10, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item. The parish, that's Prisoners Fund, not President's Fund, $500,000. Could be the Prisoners Fund if it was the President's Fund. And call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, August 26, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Moved by Mr. Babin and seconded by Ms. Chauvin. And you got a light? Ms. Chauvin
Can you expound on this?
and Ms. Malden, I'm going to
Please.
turn you on.
Yes, ma'am. So unfortunately, this one isn't as good news as the other one was. We had originally budgeted for some more revenue with the sheriff's office than what is being given to us right now. We are currently working with the sheriff's office to come to an agreement on some revenue sources and to help us with the cost of the jail. We all know how many times we have come to the council on the repairs that are needed, as well as our legal responsibility to feed and keep the prisoners. So this $500,000 is what we have to do right now in order to keep that fund balanced. And we are working on 2027's budget with the sheriff and his department, and hopefully come up with an agreement for 2026 and 2027.
Okay, so I read in the backup and it states from revenues not being collected, what you said. Where were these revenues supposed to?
From the sheriff's office.
Okay. All right, thanks, appreciate it.
Seeing no further lights, members vote your machine. Motion passes 9 yeas. Motion to adjourn.
Second. Almost adjourned.
Ms. Chauvin, seconded by Mr. Amity. Members vote your machine. We are adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Amy.
Bye-bye.
All right. Notice to the public. If you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located at the end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or the council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words, and actions and comments should be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communications should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. Thank you. All right, we'll call the meeting of the Community Development and Planning Committee to order, and I will do the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to come together to discuss matters in our community. Grant these professional men and women divine guidance in addressing matters placed before them. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can we please get a roll call?
Mr. Trustclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you. All right, item number 1, discussion and possible action regarding amending resolution number 25-490, which sets the 2026 council meeting and condemnation hearing dates to reschedule the condemnation hearing on Tuesday, October 27th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. to Monday, October 26, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Got a motion by Mr. Trustclair, second by Mr. Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Oh, we do. We have a couple. Steve. All right.
Okay, I don't know if we can do it now or if we have to come back later, but, I would like the resolution to read, from Monday, October 26th going forward, not just that one meeting date. This, if you read it as it's written, it's only showing one meeting change. So, Michelle, does this do we have to come back with that, or can we just, amend it not now?
You can amend it now. You're gonna wanna make a substitute motion. Are the dates on the, backup correct?
To
new
be honest
date?
with you, I didn't even look at it.
Okay, so these are committee meeting dates, and then the other side of the column are regular council session meeting dates, so these aren't
It's not on
anything-
there, no.
That's not on there. Oh, sorry, you're right. Condemnation dates are at the bottom. So the last one of the year looks like it's on the 27th, is that correct? Okay, so there's none in December.
But he's looking for 2027, right?
Well, I'm looking just from
Yeah,
here
going forward.
Okay, and I think those all get set whenever y'all set y'all meetings for the next
So we
year.
could do
So
it
Okay, that's
can
then.
fine.
address it
Let's
then.
just do this one.
So you
I'm
should
most
be
to
good
stand,
with
yes.
it as is.
That's fine.
All right. Are you finished?
I'm done.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, just a question, Steve. Why do we want to do this? I mean, you didn't state why, you wanted to change it.
Okay, I want to change because I don't want to come here 3 nights in a row every quarter. I talked to Dion and Camilla, and they're they are actually changing their numbers to 25 a meeting, and I think it's crazy to come out here 3 nights in a week, 3 nights on meeting weeks, and I don't want to do it. And I did a census, and I got a lot of councilmen say the same thing.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to know the reason why you had it on there. I mean, so what do? We have the condemnation meeting prior to the committee meetings?
Prior to
So
committee,
that
that's the way
means,
it's gonna be scheduled.
so that
The
means
way it was
everybody in the
before.
administration stays until the end? Or do we put the committee meetings first and the condemnation meeting after, then those people have to stay? It's 4 times a year, okay? It's four
Vote
times a
against it,
year.
Danny. Just vote against it.
Well, I will, but I
Okay,
mean,
that's fine. That's your
my
choice.
my point is, I'm just trying to ask why it
I
has
just-
worked. We've condemned,
And it worked 40 years
Hey,
before
listen,
the
I
other way.
have the mic right now. We are charged with
going
the
too.
we are charged with the responsibility from the charter to condemn houses. That's our job to do it, okay? And to everybody that comes here that night, it's very important to them. So my point is I just like to concentrate on those people and the condemnations that night. I will vote against it. It's only 4 times a year. So thank you very much.
Right. Well, in response, we're gonna, we still gonna concentrate on it. And they're gonna be here at the beginning of the meeting, and they're gonna get out of here as soon as they're done. No different than any other meeting. And as you said, so eloquently, this council operated under this order up until 3 years ago. Okay? And worked perfectly fine. The only reason we went to an extra, and we voted to go to an extra meeting, you probably wasn't here when that happened.
I've never missed a meeting, so
Well,
have.
Well, you were here when we changed it to 3 nights? Or you was on the council then?
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe you was. I don't remember when it was. But at the end of the day, when we moved to doing 50 condemnations a meeting, it made sense to do a third night. Nobody had an issue with that. Now we're back to 25. There's no reason not to go back. Thank you.
Mr. Harding?
This question was for legal, and that's what I was actually thinking about, because I didn't know how many meetings we had, so only have one left. So we'd be up to the next year's council to actually set.
No, the meetings are voted on before the first
Before
of the
then?
year. That's right.
Okay, then, so we would have to do that again to go into the next year for 2027.
Right,
what we're
right
gonna
before
do.
right before the beginning of the next year, the council votes on its schedule for the following year.
Yeah.
And that includes all the,
Yeah, and support of those people come from far off. I can walk here, you know what I mean, and I can look at, I can kind of understand what Mr. Trustclan was saying in reference to coming from all the way from Montague to come up here and on the extra day. And I remember the last administration I was a part of, then we didn't have that, so we were doing it different. We just actually had changed it. So we're doing less because we have less out there to actually get rid of. So I think we've been very, very efficient in our process that we're actually doing, and I'm perfectly willing to actually try that. And then at the end of the year, you know what I mean, if it doesn't work out the next meeting, we can always vote it against. But then the democratic process will take place tonight. Thank you.
All right. See no other lights. Members, vote your machine. Clerk's light. Oh.
Mr. Chairman, the reason why the dates changed for the condemnations is because of the workload for nuisance abatement. Previously to their workload, our condemnations meetings were before committee meetings. It was changed because of their workload. Every time we set the meetings and before y'all vote on the meetings, I contact Nuisance Abatement Assistant Director Dion Stewart to make sure that the dates that we're putting on the calendar coincide with the dates that the letters are there, that they're sending out. So it's always been before committee. It just changed when their workload changed after Hurricane Ida and different things that went on. But previously, it was before committee meetings, and before we set the meeting dates, we always check with nuisance abatement to make sure that these dates coincide with what they're doing. I did speak to Ms. Dion, and she said next year they probably only gonna have 2 condemnation hearings at the most. So we talked about maybe changing it around or something like that.
Thank you. Mr. Pledger?
So that sounds like we're narrowing down and working through all those condemnations. It sounds like one. And two, that's probably another reason we don't use South Central Planning, because we can handle it in-house now, right? All right, everybody smile for me. Thank you.
Miss Michelle?
So, Ms. Triggs brought up a good point, and I did notice the last meeting date on July 28th has already passed. Do you know, have you talked to Dion? Do you know if she's sending any letters out for the October meeting yet? Because, okay, good. That way she'll put the correct date if this passes tonight. Okay.
Mr. Harding?
Ms. Neal, I think in the condemnation hearing, when we were actually pushing off until the next condemnation hearing, I think they had the date in there. I'm not sure. Yeah. So that date is already, published.
When you continued them on the record on the last meeting in July, did you say the 27th or the 28th?
I think it may have been the 28th. 27th. Yeah. So this would
I'm
clarify.
sorry, the 26th or the 27th, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this would clarify everything anyway.
Okay, so if someone was in person on the night of July 28th and they would have been continued to the next meeting, would they have known that night? Okay.
So in other words, some people already
Some
think it's the
people may have
27th
been-
and now we're
I'll
moving to
check
the
with
6th.
I'll check with Brianna because she was here on the night of the July 28th to see if there was anybody present that may have heard the 26th.
That would have been, Miss.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, on some of the items, if you went back and listened to the actual meeting itself, sometimes it's just 90 days. Sometimes they actually get very specific and say the date. It just varies from one to the next. But Dion, they'll send out notices to all the ones who were continued with the corrected date of the 27th, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I still
No,
wanna-
26.
26.
Yeah, that was my fault, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'll still make sure that Brianna checks because sometimes if people are in person, they get their notice and they just assume
write it
that it's
down
the
and they're
same.
done.
So I'll make sure that she makes a special effort to,
Yeah.
if anybody was in person and got that date,
It's a
we'll
good
try
catch.
to make sure we
Good
catch it.
Thank you, Miss Neal. All right, now no lights. Members, vote your machines. Oh, late. And the vote is 7-2, and motion passes. Item number 2, a motion to amend the condemnation order adopted on April 28, 2026 on the residential structure located at 109 Ray Ellender Court, Berg, Louisiana, owned by Samuel Paul Henry, by changing the deadline to completed repairs, demolition, and/or removal from July 28, 2026 to October 28, 2026. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 3, a motion to amend the condemnation order adopted on April 28, 2026 on the residential and accessory structures located at 230 Lower Country Drive, Berg, Louisiana, owned by Estate Marie Hilda Pellegrin LaBeouf, care of Johnny J. LaBeouf, by changing the deadline to complete repair, demolition, and/or removal from July 28, 2026 to October 28, 2026. Moved by Mr. Trosclair, second by Ms. Chauvin. No lights, members, vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 4, motion to amend the condemnation order adopted on January 27, 2026 on the residential structure located at 415 Morningside Drive, Home, Louisiana, owned by Chet Adams Rogers, by changing the deadline to complete repairs, demolition, and/or removal from July 28, 2026 to October 26, 2026. Moved by Mr. Bobbin, second by Mr. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 5. A motion to amend the condemnation order adopted on July 29, 2025, and amended on April 27, 2026 on the residential and accessory structures located at 110 Hillier Street, Houma, Louisiana, owned by Wes Michael Thibodeau, by changing the deadline to demolition and/or removal from July 31st, 2026 to October 29, 2026. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. See no lights, members vote your machines. Motion passes 9-0. Item number 6, obligating the necessary funding under the FEMA funded Terrebonne Parish Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, project number FMA-PJ-06-LA 2021-037 to complete the elevation of 11514 4 Point Road, Dulac, Louisiana 70353. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Uh, 8-0, motion passes. Item number 7, consider the introduction of an ordinance revised Chapter 12, Section 6 and Section 27 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances to remove the word landfill, add language regarding trucks entering the highway and related matters thereto, and call a public hearing on Wednesday, August 26th at 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Got 2 questions, one, Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Looking at the language, it says at the entrance. Shouldn't that be 500 feet before the entrance, 1,000 feet before the entrance? Because traffic, people driving, if that sign's right at the entrance, then it's going to be kind of too late. So I don't know who put this on and why, how it was written before. Just a suggestion.
Excuse me. So you'll see before, it was actually written signage at the entrance. The recommended revision is changing it from at the entrance to on both sides of the road at the entrance. So if we want to put some language in here for
Well, I meant to look it up on the road standards, but I didn't get around to doing that. I just know when we do it, the state has requirements of where we put signage with DOTD.
our construction.
At construction sites. So, I mean, we don't have to do it tonight. Maybe it's something we'd look at and do a quick amendment later. I was just wondering if anybody had looked at that.
No, sir, I don't think they did.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hardy?
Yeah, John, I think it's, it may, according to DOTD, my memory doesn't strike me that well. It might be when they're doing work, so I think it's within 500 feet on both ends of that entrance. The other thing about that, we have been having a lot of talk about barrel pits and stuff like that. I'm asking the question, does this happen to be any extra cost, private or public, to any other people? You know what I mean? So there's no cost, just changing the words to this. Just okay. Basically, yeah, right. Other questions to take care of.
I think you may have answered your own question,
Yeah,
but
right.
Ms. Neal, are you good?
So you can't charge us for that.
All right. Seeing no other lights, members vote your machine.
Yeah, budget and finance.
Motion passes 9-0. Got a motion adjourned by Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Harding. Members vote your machines. kind of bad.